All right. The Vancouver Canucks have pulled off yet another victory. Or not the Canucks, but the Canucks prospects. You get what I mean here. Vancouver went out there against the Winnipeg Jets prospects in their second game of the Young Stars Classic in 2024. And as you can tell from the title and the thumbnail, it was a huge comeback victory for Vancouver. You know, it's kind of funny because I'm thinking back to last week when we had seen Rick Dhaliwal on Donnie and Dolly talking about how the Canucks and their Young Stars roster wasn't really all too deep, nor was it all too strong compared to some of the other prospect pools around the NHL. Oh, they traded away all their picks, they don't have too many top-tier guys, but you know what the Canucks do have in their prospect pool? Older guys. Now, that's not necessarily going to help the team as they continue into the next few years, but when it comes to a prospect tournament, hey, you put a whole bunch of guys in their 22, 23, 24-year-old seasons against 18, 19-year-olds, and you're probably going to see the older guys do well. And I'm not going to say that that's exactly what happened here, but you really started to note how some of the more mature players in the Canucks prospect pool, like Max Sasson, for example, are able to utilize those extra years of development to their advantage. Vancouver wins this one 4-2 in a comeback victory after the Winnipeg Jets had a 2-0 lead in the game. Vancouver ultimately found themselves coming back, tying things up, and then scoring 2 goals in the third period to win the game in totality. Honestly, it was a tale of two tapes here because I feel like the Jets kind of had control for most of the first half of the game pretty much. First period and then into the first half of the second period, the Jets just kind of cycled it around. They had a lot of pressure going. They were causing the Canucks decor to make mistakes, and Vancouver was having a difficult time stringing together consistent offensive breakouts and break-ins because of it. Winnipeg had this game on lock, and they had a 2-0 lead because of it. Brad Lambert scoring to make it 1-0, and then Nikita Chibrikov making it 2-0, assisted by that same Brad Lambert. Not surprising to me that Brad Lambert is going out there with 2 points in a game where he makes it look easy. That's just kind of the caliber of talent that he possesses. But the Winnipeg Jets had a 2-0 lead, and then the Vancouver Canucks just kind of woke up, honestly. The Canucks started to string together some more offensive zone opportunities, and eventually it was capped off by that same Max Sasson, who looked so good in the game against Edmonton, wrapping the puck around the net and then chucking it far side. He went for a cross-crease opportunity, but instead of it going off the stick of the guy on the back door, it went off of like the skate or the shin pad off of Josh Bloom and deflected inwards. 2-1 game. Great assist there by Sasson, just an absolute workhorse on the puck. Then you give it another few minutes, and you had yourselves Elias Pettersson. No, not EP40, but EP26, DPD, had himself a beautiful shot from the point that was a really interesting one. Like, this is a play that when I saw it unfolding on my TV screen, I was like, okay, that's not going to be a goal. Like, what? They're kind of cycling it around weirdly. They're just kind of playing hot potato with it a little bit. The Canucks are keeping possession, but they're not really opening up any lanes, and then Pettersson just kind of whips it on goal from the far point. It's a high shot. It goes right through everybody, and it's a tie game, 2-2. If Elias Pettersson, the defenseman, is able to carry over that level of offensive productivity, just kind of getting pucks on goal, setting up rebounds, setting up tips, and of course scoring the odd goal once in a while, then there could legitimately be 2 Elias Pettersson offensive threats on the Vancouver Canucks, assuming DPD's development goes down a proper stage where he's able to make the Vancouver Canucks long term. Imagine that, eh? On the power play, Elias Pettersson to Elias Pettersson. Namesake-wise, it's like Henrik and Daniel all over again, just kind of closer. So, all memes aside, Elias Pettersson had himself a good game. I actually did like the way he was able to move around the offensive zone. I thought that the reads that he made and the quick little touches that he had when he's trying to keep the puck in and when he's trying to break the puck out, I thought he did a really good job at that stuff. But of course, it's all capped off by him just kind of having the hockey sense and the ability to take the puck at the blue line, acknowledge that there was a lane, and just fire it on goal, burying it by the goaltender. It's a tie game, 2-2. The Vancouver Canucks are starting to maintain some more possession and momentum here, and that carries over into the third period, where we see Vancouver score 2 more goals to bring their lead up to 4-2. The first goal of the third period is scored by Anthony Romani. Yeah, it's Anthony Romani, the 58-goal guy in the OHL last season, one of the best goal scorers in the CHL, and a Vancouver Canucks prospect taken earlier last year. Romani had the puck in tight, coming in on the goaltender on the faceoff circle. He had a really short amount of distance between him and the goal. He fanned on this first shot, and the second shot, he gets it up high and over the shoulder of the Winnipeg Jets goaltender, who actually happened to be his teammate with the North Bay Battalion this previous season, Dominic DiVincentis. He was a little bit down, got caught on the butterfly a little bit too tight, and that's where Romani absolutely embarrasses him, puts the puck up high, and it is a 3-2 game. You then had yourselves another goal a little bit later, scored by Vilmer Alriksson, the big dude from Sweden, who had actually a pretty strong game, in my opinion, for most of the night. He's 6'6", so he's got big reach and a long stride, and he was using those tools for most of the game, just kind of roving around the offensive zone, protecting the puck. I thought he did a really good job at just keeping himself stable, and he's only 19 years old at that size, too, so he's really learning to come into his own as a big prospect. But he's able to take the puck in the corner and walk it right out in front, go over onto the backhand, and waltz around the goalie, putting it right through. 4-2 is the score here. The Vancouver Canucks eventually hang on. The Winnipeg Jets did this thing at the end of the game where they kind of stacked up their forward core and just left them on the ice for the last 2 minutes or so. Vancouver was trying to survive. There was the empty net for Winnipeg. Vancouver was just icing it over and over and over again, trying to get the change, not getting the change, and eventually just kind of killing the clock by continuously putting the puck down. But either way, Vancouver takes the W here in a pretty big comeback victory. After going down 2-0, they end up winning 4-2. The guys that we maybe would have expected to score a lot of points, Jonathan Lekkerimäki, Aatu Räty, Arshdeep Bains, these guys didn't really have the most productive game, but they did look good. Aatu Räty and Lekkerimäki, for example, I think they had a really good chemistry, which makes sense considering they did spend some time together towards the end of the previous season on the Abbotsford Canucks. But those two guys are definitely the best offensively capable guys on the team, along with Arshdeep Bains, who had some pretty nifty moves here too. I thought Bains had a few really cheeky passes, especially the ones where he's kind of getting hit and he's falling to the ice, but he also makes the pass still. He had a few of those that I thought stood out in a pretty positive way. But either way, it is the other guys, the depth guys, you could say, the extras that we may not have expected to see too many goals out of, but whom we did see goals out of nonetheless. I don't know if anybody was really expecting Elias Pettersson to score a goal in this tournament, but he did, and he looked pretty good doing so. Vilmer Alriksson, of course, with the deke to the backhand, Anthony Romani with the shot in tight, and then Josh Bloom going off of his skate or shin pad and in. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Vancouver Canucks beating the Winnipeg Jets 4-2 in a great comeback victory. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.